About a month ago, there was a leak. It's a very important leak because it showcases the Outlaw, 2400 credit weapon that may be coming to Valorant that will sit between the Marshal and the Operator. Now, realistically, is Riot actually going to add a brand new gun to Valorant? Well, I had to edit it because it is now officially confirmed the Outlaw is coming to Valorant, and we even have some details about how it will perform gameplay-wise, which we'll get to in a second. Like most people have already talked about, something that will hopefully curb stomp the light shield meta that is dominating pro play. Now, when it comes to the Outlaw itself, it will cost 2400. It'll fire 2 bullets at the same time, similar to a shorty, kills half armored enemies with a single shot. Body damage will be around 140 and will debut with no animated skins. So this thing sounds like a ton of fun. We don't know the fire rates, we can't call it a beast, we don't know wall pen and anything else, but I'm extremely hyped. And in honor of the Outlaw, all the background gameplay will only be me using the Marshal, so I apologize for your eyeballs because I don't know how to use this thing at all. But regardless, this is a much more interesting topic when we ask the question, will Riot add other guns to the game? Guns that aren't just the Outlaw. Could we have new eco weapons, a new pistol, maybe like dual wield classics, you know, that you have to pay a little bit extra for? What about a different rifle or a different version of the Odin that costs like 5k? You know, like Riot could get crazy with it. And it's an extraordinarily interesting conversation because this is a competitive shooter with a lot of high stakes. They can't add guns willy-nilly as it messes with the economy like crazy. It changes the fundamental essence of Valorant. But there is a use case and a scenario where I believe Riot should be adding a lot of weapons. And I'll explain after a quick word from today's sponsor. Sponsored by Valorant Tracker, my favorite application for improving in Valorant. Right from agents like, you're popped up with tons of information. If I hover chamber, I get chamber stats for myself as well as the global average. When in game, I can pop up their UI to see who my opponents are and who my teammates are, as well as their rank and statistics specifically. And it doesn't end there. Just hit the tab button and there's an extra UI with more information. The application itself is also just stacked. You can check your gun stats, your agent stats, your map stats, and everything you can imagine, including your trends and various other things. You even get guides within the application itself. And because it tracks your entire Valorant history, I can specify a specific episode and act, and I love going back far away and comparing my old stats to my new stats. Like here, I can see that I hit a new peak in the last 25 matches with my headshot percentage. So if you want stuff like this, download Valorant Tracker for free using link down below. Welcome back. All right, so the thing about Riot is I don't know how much I trust them when it comes to holding the fundamental fun aspect of a video game, and it's for good reason. Valorant has made it clear they want to be more like a chess game, right? A game in which you continuously improve and it's all about being extremely sweaty and extremely competitive. However, you know how when they first dropped Snowball Fight, they added the little snowball gun? It was just offset of Brimstone's gun. Or for example, in Spike Rush, there's the gold gun, which is, to be honest, kind of a lot of fun to play with. It's just Spike Rush as a game mode is not very fun, but the gold gun can be really intriguing. This is a use case in which Riot should be going a little bit crazier. Let's be honest. New guns within new casual game modes is actually, now that I think about it, something I can't believe I didn't think of before. It's probably one of the best ways to add high engagement to new game modes, because if you added new one-of-a-kind guns that could be wacky, could be OP, like imagine if you save 9,000 credits, there's just a gun that's like the gold gun that you can buy. It's like dual wield ghost that one tap. You know what I mean? They could have so much fun with it, and even streamers, competitive people will want to hop in just to play around with something that fundamentally changes the gameplay of Valorant, but they don't have to worry as much about balance, and they can kind of have fun with the game. You know what I mean? They don't have to worry about things just imploding because they want to add a new gun. Then there is the flip side of things, right? Like that's the casual side, and I think when I said all that, most of you probably nodded your head. Most of you are like, okay, even if you're a hardcore competitive player, most of you are like, yeah, go ahead, like have fun, add shit to like random game modes and make the game fun. No one's gonna oppose that. But fundamentally, competitive, if you were to hop into a ranked game and the Outlaw is now part of the game, is this a good or bad thing? Personally, I think it's a fantastic thing. The truth is, yes, you need to carefully balance things, but not any more than you would with agents, right? If Riot can release new agents, they can release new guns. Heck, I believe they can release guns that are in rotation, that maybe disappear closer to what maps are, because all of these change the fundamental essence of Valorant. Valorant was already different the minute new maps came into the game. Valorant was fundamentally different the minute Reyna joined the roster. All these things do shape shape Valorant. They shape Valorant to what it is. So there's absolutely no reason for them not to add some fun new guns. Of course, a lot more carefully, with a lot of thought, because they can break ranked play. But hey, if we had 1 year of broken chamber, I think we could live with some guns. You know what I mean? They can balance out some guns. Actually, it's funny because fundamentally, if you think about it, a big reason chamber was broken wasn't even because of just his guns, right? Sure, I know his ult was insane before the nerf, but a lot of it was trips and teleport. You know what I'm trying to say here? Like, they can comfortably add guns. They can comfortably add some wacky stuff, and it would change the game fundamentally, but in a fresh way, like where it's a fresh of breath air. For example, an attachment. You can pay extra 500 credits to your sheriff. That adds a scope to it, similar to Chamber's scope now, right? All of a sudden, this dude's talking about attachments. You guys are probably thinking I'm crazy. But no, Valorant can't just stay the exact same forever. It is already feeling stale. They cannot just keep it the exact same way, or it will continue to feel stale. However, the problem with Riot, if we wanted to take any notes from League of Legends, they do like to keep things extremely safe. You know what I mean? Like, extremely safe, which doesn't bode too well for players like you and I think, if you're watching this video, you and I, who also like the casual side of Valorant. Even if you like ranked, even if you like grinding ranks, you need a fresher breath there. You need to be able to still enjoy the game. And Valorant has the fundamentals of being a fun game. It's just a little bit too leaning towards the competitive side of things. But the problem is that doesn't truly answer the original question in the title. Will Riot actually add new weapons to Valorant? Well, to be honest, yes, I highly believe so. I think the Outlaw will end up in Valorant. I don't know if it'll be 2,400 credits. We don't know the exact details. If they want it to counter the half shield, it means that it do 126 to the body, which is actually fantastic. It makes a ton of sense because later into the eco rounds, you're supposed to have heavy shield. So it actually should inherently not be too broken, but we don't know fire rate. We don't know scope. We don't know jack shit. Like, we don't know, you know, like, no scoping on the Marshall is actually pretty accurate. That's what I do because I can't aim for shit. We don't know any of those details when it comes to the Outlaw. All we could do is speculate, which is absolutely useless. I would love a new sniper. That's extremely exciting. Even if I suck at the sniper, it's just exciting. A new gun is inherently exciting. Now, we could compare it to other games, like League of Legends wasn't a great example that I made originally, but let's say Rainbow Six Siege or Apex, none of them really land home. However, CSGO did add new guns through its decade-long run, right? Like, they had the M4A1S, they had the CZ75 Auto, they had the R8 Revolver, which all impacted pro and casual meta. Of course it did, right? But still, the game thrived for a long time. So it goes to show that if Riot is even remotely hoping to last as long as CSGO, they're going to need to. Of course, with the launch of CS2, none of that actually happened, but almost everyone agrees within the community that it is highly likely that CS2 will at some point get new guns, and it's for the exact same reason. Do you want the game to get boring? Do you want the game to get stale? No. Of course, there's a lot of topics to be had here. There's only so many guns you can add to the game. There's only so many agents you can add to the game. I would say there's only so many maps, but we have map rotation. And this is actually a topic for an entirely another video. But it is true that a game can only bloat so much before it just becomes a complete mess. And I wouldn't be completely opposed to seeing stuff like gun cycles or agent bans. There's a lot of things, but it is important to keep things fresh, and that's just my personal opinion. Of course, let me know what you think down below.